Good morning, my children, and welcome back to your English class, the class of the teacher Jacob. Today, my children, we are going to make an exercise that is based on the previous vocabulary that we have been practicing. So, it's another review. For this activity, if you want to work along with the teacher Jacob, you already know the instructions. You have 5 seconds to pick up your book and your pencil case. I start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start. Once you have your book ready, open it on page 129. 129. These are two activities. Number 1 and activity number 2, page 130. 130. Let's begin with the first activity. Now remember, the teacher Jacob works on the whiteboard so you can appreciate the results better. Now, here, as you can see, we have several pictures, several drawings or images. The images that I have here are part of all the vocabulary that we have been practicing. So, under each one of the images, debajo de cada una de las imágenes, we have two options. Tenemos dos opciones. We have lemon, for example. Lemon, and option 2, it says pear. We have to mark with an X the correct option, the name of the object. Debajo de cada una de las imágenes tenemos dos opciones, ¿ok? Una de ellas es el nombre correcto del objeto. La otra opción no lo es. Vamos a tachar la opción que sea correcta. Okay, so let's start. For this, if you want to mark the correct option with a pencil or with a color, there is no problem. Okay, you can use both. The first picture, we have a fruit. Now, what is it? Do you remember what's the name of this fruit? Pear. Very good. So, we have two options, lemon or pear. You said pear, so it's the number 2, the one that is under, la que se encuentra abajo. So, I'm going to say it like that so you can understand it better. Under. For the second picture, we have an animal that flies. So, what animal is it? On it says bird, under dolphin. What is it? Bird. So the one that is on, la que se encuentra arriba. Bird. Let's continue with number 3. For number 3, we have an animal that is very scary, an animal that comes out at Halloween. What animal is it? And it's also part of insects. On it says snake, under spider. What do you think it is? Spider. So it's the option that is under, spider. Remember, I'm not talking about Spider-Man, that is a superhero. I'm just talking about the insect, the animal. Number 4, we have an animal of the zoo. Remember, animals of the zoo are all of those that are big and not dangerous. Recuerden que los animales del zoológico son todos esos que son grandes y son peligrosos. So right here we have two options. On it says dog, under elephant. So it's pretty obvious that it's option 2. Elephant, the one that is under. On the second horizontal row, en la segunda fila horizontal, we commence with a fruit. Now the color of this fruit, remember, is color red. The seeds are color black. We have two options. On it says melon, under watermelon. Remember that there is a difference between the two names. Melon or watermelon. What do you think it is? ¿Qué creen que sea? Watermelon. Very good. Remember, watermelon in Spanish, sandía. Let's continue with the next image, and we have an animal of the sea. So the options are fish and under cat. What do you think is the correct option? On or under? On, the one that says fish. Next to, we have an animal that is also part of the sea, and it's the biggest animal in the world. What is it? On it says snake, under it says whale. Whale, very good. Option number 2, whale. Remember, whale in Spanish, ballena. Number 8, okay? We have a picture of a fruit. Now the color of this fruit is red. And on it says pear, under it says apple. So, what option is it? 1 or 2? Number 2, apple. So, we mark it with an X. On the third row, we have more animals. In this case, we have pets. Remember, pets are all of those animals that live inside our house. For this, we have two options, dog, and under we have cat. What's the name of this animal? Cat. Very good. So, option number 2. Next to, we have another fruit, and this is the smallest of all. Color red, looks like a circle. On it says grapes, under it says cherry. What is the name of this fruit? Cherry. Very good. So we mark it with an X. Now, after finishing tracing the correct options using different colors, let's paint all the pictures of the vocabulary. Now, while you are finishing your activity number 1, I will pause the video so we can start with activity number 2. Mientras ustedes terminan de colorear su actividad, voy a preparar la actividad número 2. So, activity number 2, my children. The instructions are the same. We have several pictures. Under the images, we have 2 options and only one is correct. Only one is saying the name of the object. So, let's start. Remember, this page is the second activity, page 130. 130. So, the first picture is of a person. We have a boy. Now, The boy, what is it or how is it? The boy, is he thin or fat? On, thin, under, fat. What do you think it is? Fat, excellent. Which is option number 2. 1, 2, fat. Like the teacher Jacob, que está bien barrigón. Number 2, we have a girl. Now, the physique of the girl, how is she? Thin or fat? Thin, very good. So, option number 1, number 2. Number 1, it says thin. So, that's the one we mark. Esa es la que ponemos tache. On the third picture, we have an object that is part of family of clothes. We have a sweater. Now, the sweater, compared to the moon, comparado a la luna, al dibujo de la luna, the sweater, is it big or small? Big, very good. So, option number 1. Big. Let's continue with the moon, an object that appears up there in the sky. Now, this object compared to the sweater, how is it? Is it big or small? Small, of course. Option number 1. We mark it with an X. We continue with the second row of objects, la segunda fila de objetos, and we commence with a table. Now, for the table is what? Small or big? Big. The table is big. So, we mark it with an X. Next to, we have a chair, an object that we use to sit down. So, for the chair, how is it? Characteristics of the chair. Is it long or short? Short, very good. Option number 2. Short begins with letter S. Then, once again, we have the face of a person, of a boy to be precise. Now, the boy, is he short or tall? Tall, very good. So, it's option 2. Tall begins with the letter T of train. Then we have another shape of a person. In this case, we have a girl. So, for the girl, is she tall or short? Short, very good. Option number 2. And on the second row, we have a plate. Okay? Now, the shape or form of a plate, is it a circle or a square? Talking about geometric shapes. A circle, of course. Option number 2. Circle begins with letter C of Camila. And finally, the last picture. What is it? Is it a plate, a spoon, una cuchara? What is it? A glass? What is it? A cup. Very good. A cup. So we have a plate, option 1, cup, option 2, and that's the one we mark with an X. Cup. After finishing or after choosing all the correct options, the names of the objects, you know the instructions, with different colors, we paint all of them so the activity looks better. That's it for today, my children. The teacher Jacob is very happy to see all my beautiful students of pre-primary on this wonderful new day of the week, Monday. Tomorrow we continue with more exercises based on review of previous vocabulary. Until that day, have an excellent afternoon. Take care. Goodbye.